Yes, well, I've been at this polling station in North Sydney all morning now, and it's not been the most exciting election campaign, I must admit, but there's a real air of excitement and anticipation outside of this polling station today. There's lots of campaigners here talking to voters, lots of people out and about on the streets. So there's certainly an air of atmosphere ahead of the polls closing later today. In terms of what voters want, what they've been telling me all morning, well, one of the biggest things that they've been saying is they just want something a bit different. They're looking for a little bit of change. They're saying they're tired of the two main parties. They're tired of what they can offer. They're looking for something different. And that's where some of these independent candidates might do quite well tonight, because they are really offering an alternative to the mainstream parties. There's a lady running in the constituency where I am here, Kyla Tink, who's predicted to do quite well. Two big themes that have been coming up, though, is climate change and the economy. They're the two big issues, really, that people are talking to me about today. A lot of people with children talking about their future generations and how climate change could impact them. If you live here long enough, you will see very quickly the impacts of climate change. We've had bushfires, flooding. Even in Sydney, where I am, we've seen huge amounts of rain recently, which is very unusual for this time of year. And some people, you know, you mentioned 17 million voting. That's because it is compulsory to vote here. You get fined if you don't. Some people have told me they have no interest in politics at all. They're literally just here because they have to be and they don't want to get fined. You also, interestingly, get offered a democracy sausage when you're voting. They'll give you a hot dog on your way out from voting. I think some people are just here for that, although I've not been offered one yet.
I hope you will be offered one pretty soon. Now, Adam, you mentioned people want something different this time. So let me just pick up on that part. Help us understand, how do the policies of Scott Morrison differ from that of Anthony Albanese?
Well, there isn't a massive difference, in all honesty, and that has been causing a lot of annoyance amongst voters, really. They feel like they're not getting much of a choice, particularly when it comes to the economy, which is obviously a crucial issue. We can take a quick look at some of the actual policies that have been put forward. It's been quite a policy-like campaign, in all honesty. Firstly, Labour and Anthony Albanese, they're pledging better access and more affordable childcare is one of the big offerings they're putting forward. Also ensuring that wages keep up with the cost of groceries. If you flip it on to the Liberal National Coalition and Scott Morrison, he's predominantly campaigned based on how he's performed so far. He's talked about his economic performances. He's talked about how he guided the country through the pandemic and how he can guide the country through the next crisis. One thing he has offered is allowing young people access to their superannuation funds. That's kind of like a government retirement pension or savings pot. Typically, you'd only get access to it when you retire. Under this new scheme, you would be able to get access to it at a younger age in order to be able to buy property and get on the property ladder. And that's a real issue here. Young people, they're being forced out of being able to buy houses because it's just so expensive, the property market here at the moment. So that policy may well go down well with younger voters. But in the main, there's not too much to decide in terms of policy. They're both fairly central at the moment in the way that they're approaching politics. So it's a difficult decision facing voters today.
All right, Adam Hancock, live to us from Sydney. Adam, thank you very much indeed.